One of the most significant energy transformations anywhere in the world is happening right now in India. It's this massive, really strategic pivot that's designed not just to power its economy, but to completely redefine its future. So let's break down exactly how that's happening. First, to get a handle on this, you have to appreciate the sheer scale of the demand. I mean, just look at this graph. It shows India's electricity generation on an incredibly steep upward trajectory. We're talking about a projection that's set to cross 2,000 billion units. That surge, well, that's the energy required for a country that's rapidly industrializing and for a rising standard of living for over 1 billion people. And that brings us right to the central strategic question, doesn't it? How does a nation of this size power its future while trying to skillfully balance 3 absolutely critical pillars: economic growth, energy security, and of course, environmental sustainability? This is the core challenge we're going to unpack. To do that, we're going to look at this transformation across 6 key areas. We'll start with the big picture, the evolving energy landscape. Then we'll dive into the renewable revolution, take a look at green hydrogen, talk about nuclear power and efficiency, see how power distribution is being reformed, and finally, touch on India's emerging leadership on the global stage. Okay, so the most visible part of this whole transformation is, without a doubt, the renewable energy revolution. But this isn't just about putting up more solar panels and wind turbines. It's a much deeper, strategic effort to build a totally self-reliant domestic ecosystem. The growth in solar, in particular, has been, well, nothing short of exponential. Think about this number, a 45-fold increase in installed solar capacity since 2014. A figure like that, all by itself, signals a fundamental reordering of the entire energy mix, which in turn helps reduce import dependence and really bolsters energy security. And all that rapid expansion has led to a major milestone. Non-fossil fuel sources, so we're talking primarily renewables and nuclear, now make up more than 50% of India's total installed power capacity. That is a critical tipping point in the clean energy transition. This slide really shows you the depth of the strategy. You can see India now ranks 4th globally in renewable capacity. That's driven by this massive solar growth, pushing towards 140 gigawatts capacity, plus significant wind capacity. And it's all supported by these crucial policies, like the PM's Surya Ghar scheme for rooftop solar and a huge 24,000 crore rupee production-linked incentive, or PLI scheme. That's designed to boost domestic manufacturing, creating a truly holistic approach. All right, building on all this renewable capacity is our second pillar, green hydrogen. Now, this is being positioned as the next big frontier for decarbonization, and it's specifically targeting those hard-to-abate sectors, things like steel, fertilizers, and heavy transport. So what exactly is green hydrogen, according to the official definition? Well, it's hydrogen that's produced using renewable energy, usually through a process called electrolysis. But here's the crucial part, the emissions threshold. To be officially classified as green, the production process can't generate more than 2 kilograms of CO2 equivalent for every 1 kilogram of hydrogen you produce. That's a really precise and important standard to remember. The process itself is actually pretty straightforward conceptually. You start with abundant renewable energy, say from solar or wind. Then you use that clean electricity to power a device called an electrolyzer, which splits water into hydrogen and oxygen. And there you have it, clean, green hydrogen. And the ambition of the National Green Hydrogen Mission is incredibly clear. The target is 5 million metric tons of annual production by 2030. Just look at the expected outcomes. Over 8 lakh crore in investment, a reduction in fossil fuel imports by over 1 lakh crore, and avoiding nearly 50 million tons of annual emissions. It's huge. Now, while renewables are expanding like crazy, grid stability is absolutely paramount. And this brings us to these dual pillars of nuclear power and energy efficiency. Both are crucial for making sure there's a stable, round-the-clock power supply and for managing demand effectively. The Shanti Act of 2025 is really the key piece of legislation that's enabling this nuclear expansion. What it does is modernize the whole framework. It allows for limited private sector participation, it gives statutory power to the nuclear regulator, and it introduces a modern safety and liability framework. These changes are all designed to speed up growth while keeping that stringent oversight in place. And the long-term vision is crystal clear. From the current capacity of about 8.8 gigawatts, the plan is to get to over 22 gigawatts by 2032, with this long-term mission to hit 100 gigawatts by 2047. This really underscores just how important nuclear power is as a cornerstone for achieving net zero. On the efficiency side of things, the policy has evolved quite a bit. The earlier scheme was called the Perform, Achieve, and Trade, or PAT scheme, and it was focused on energy savings. The new carbon credit trading scheme, the CCTS, is more direct. It assigns greenhouse gas intensity targets to industries and then creates a market for carbon credits, which directly incentivizes companies to cut their emissions. Look, generating clean power is one thing, but delivering it efficiently is a whole other challenge. So our fourth pillar focuses on that critical last mile, reforming the power distribution sector. The goal here is to move from simply providing access to actually empowering consumers. A key indicator of this transformation is the installation of smart meters. We're talking over 5.6 crore smart meters already in place. This is a massive step towards building a modern, responsive grid that can cut down on losses and seriously improve billing accuracy. The foundational layer for this entire digital future is something called the India Energy Stack. Now, the best way to think of it is as a digital public infrastructure, a DPI, but built specifically for the energy sector. It creates these common, open standards that allow for secure and seamless data exchange between consumers, utilities, and even new energy assets, like EV chargers or rooftop solar panels. And the impact of this stack is just far-reaching. For consumers like you and me, it means more choice and even the ability to sell power back to the grid. For utilities, it provides much smarter planning tools. For innovators, it creates a kind of plug-and-play access to build new solutions. But crucially, it transforms passive consumers into active prosumers. So finally, this whole domestic transformation also has a really important global dimension. India's energy policies are increasingly shaping the international conversation around sustainability. And this leadership isn't just talk, it's demonstrated through concrete action. By co-founding the International Solar Alliance, launching the Global Biofuels Alliance, hosting India Energy Week, the country is actively bringing the world together to build consensus. And all these initiatives are anchored by that long-term commitment to achieve net zero emissions by 2070. So, to bring this all together, what you need to see is that India's energy transition isn't just a random collection of cool initiatives. No, it's a carefully structured national strategy that integrates these distinct but deeply interconnected pillars: renewables, hydrogen, nuclear, efficiency, and that digital backbone we just talked about. And this really captures the essence of the entire effort. The goal isn't merely to generate more power. It's to fundamentally redesign the entire system, from how power is produced to how it's delivered and shared. Ultimately, the objective is to build a future that is secure, sustainable, and truly self-reliant.